Rob from Dr.M Studio. Thanks for joining me. Take a look. This place is a mess. My goal here today is to get some walkability back to my garage. Multiple things are going on here. Just general clutter and tools not being put away. So I've got to come up with a game plan. One issue in my garage is I work in this garage for some fabrication and just building stuff, working on vehicles. But also I park stuff and I store stuff in here. So yeah, I got my excavator here. I got my track loader here. This is a wash bay hoist there, so that needs to stay open as well. I've got projects underneath this rack over here, and motorcycles are underneath, snowmobiles are up on top. We don't have a lot of snow right now, so I haven't taken the sleds down, but I've got some organization to do. So I'm gonna try to first focus on walkways, I guess. And then maybe I can focus on tools. I can focus on work areas. I've been buying some toolboxes and things like that to get myself organized, but I'm not very good at it. So I'm gonna try. So first things, I wanna make sure that I can walk around the area and not have any trip hazards. So I'll start with that and then we'll see what we can go from there. So. Feels good to get phase 1 done, and we'll pick up next working on phase 2. I got stuff here, man. Barbecues and a table to fix and some tools I picked up. I got to get those put at least in the close proximity. Again, my goal is to get a pathway made so it's clear. I got to get those ladders taken care of. I'm trying to think of what I can do with that. Hanging them up vertically or horizontally or something like that. I'm going to pick up on that tomorrow, but by the magic of video, we're going to get to that right about now. And we're back. It's 12 degrees below zero out there today. I'm going to stay inside. I got to get this walkway area taken care of here. I got some tools to move out of the way, and I'm going to move the track loader over into the center stall. And then what I'm going to do with those tools, since the priority isn't to put tools away, I am going to put tools that have to be put away on that table. So I'll set that up over here and I'll just start stacking tools that have to be, but I want to clear pathways first and find locations for these things here. So that's my little plan for now. So here we go. thing at a time. I made room next to the refrigerator, next to the man door. I'm gonna put those tires there. They're going to go out to the container after a while. All right, I gotta move some ladders around. This is the frustrating part. Not sure where I'm gonna put them. And I think I'm just moving stuff side to side. It's a little frustrating. Don't want to store them outside. I want to stay inside today. But I have to clean the area. Got to sweep it out anyway and restack stuff. We'll put those ladders up against the door. I'll pretend that they're outside. The area now where there's, for that diesel Cummins project, I've got parts here, and I'm going to keep those here so I can go through those parts. And that's what these boxes are. I gotta take these up. These are some extra gaskets that came with the rebuild kit and stuff, so, and get that put back over. And I'm gonna quote unquote neatly stack that up right there again. That's what I gotta do. I got windows and motors and stuff like that, so as long as I can keep my parts together, and then I'll get after this this stuff here. All right, I'm almost ready to turn the corner here. Now, I put this stuff up on top and it looks like a hodgepodge, but I use these things, and that's something that's important. I use the vacuum, I use the chainsaw, I use these gas cans, so it has a purpose, but again, I'm trying to make a pathway. I can try to make it look pretty later on. Okay, let's get around the corner here and start on that. I think that uncluttered area is going to be more conducive for inspiration. So I'm going to pull out a trick I used for the kids' graduation when we had that in the garage here. And well, let me just show you. I'll remedy this this look right now. cleans things up visually, which makes me feel good in here and here. So I'm going to get some more of those black ones. I'm not too worried about it matching, but these are heavier ones, and I'm hooking them onto the mechanisms that lock and unlock the lift. So I figured I'd put this on here just to show what I'm going to be doing, but I'm going to put the lighter blankets down across there versus these blue ones for long term. So all right, back at it again. It's a couple days later. It's still cold out here in northern Minnesota. It's about 10 degrees below zero at night and reaching above zero to about 10 degrees. So it's good to be in the garage. We'll stay in here for now. Take a look at this mess. Wow, this workbench. And that's kind of where I do fabrication stuff here. I'll show you. I'm going to pull all this stuff out of here. I'm going to move it towards the front of by the car lift there. And then sweep this out, get this resituated. So I got my hands full. This is the frustration part because I'm just moving stuff back and forth, but I got to start someplace. So. This is pretty well cleaned up here. These are usable things that I keep on the table. And I took the vacuum out from underneath. You saw me sweeping off of here. And you know, it was a try. Again, we have trial and error on what we think will work. And I'm just probably better off just putting a wastebasket underneath there when I clean, not when I'm cutting or anything like that, but just have one off to the side. And I can just sweep it inside there. Just one less thing to plug in and manage that way. So simpler is better for me on that one. Gotta get that transmission and that motor back over there someplace. Transmission's going underneath the welding table, and the motor's going into the corner here. (1971) Chevrolet 350 small block. I've got some room to work on the floor space anyway. I skipped ahead. I did a little work here. If you look back at the other portion of the video, all this stuff was on that end over there. So I changed the locations, and I did that based on common apparatus here. So I got my drill, Craftsman drill press here. I wanted my other drills and stuff to be here as well. So in this drawer, I will have drill bits in that. So that's why I centered this here. So just reconfiguring and starting to do some cabinet cleanup here. That's what I'm going to be doing today, trying to figure out what to do with it. It'll be easy to take the stuff off, but I got to figure out where to put it as well. So first things first, take the stuff off and then work my way through. I still have that stairway to take care of. That's just been collecting stuff as I pass by and drop things off there. So I did hang a paint can holder here, and all my paint cans are moved on to that other cabinet. But you know, my PB blaster and WD-40 stuff I can put over here. I did put some of my classic oil stuff here. That came off of this shelf over here that was taking up space. So that'll be used for everyday things, and this is just for show stuff. On the top, I put my DeWalt leaf blower there, and hung a chainsaw there with 8-foot level there. So that opened up this top space here. I put all my helmets there, motorcycle helmets and snowmobile helmet stuff there. So they were up on top where the leaf blower is at. So this is a good spot, summertime stuff. I can access it then. My plumbing box. Got my plumbing tools in here and some doodads for that. It feels good. I'm gonna put a top and extend this top out here and move the cabinets away from the wall. Make a bigger work surface there. So I do want this to be kind of a work area. What do I do now? I guess I climb up the stairs and try to put stuff away in some areas. All right, wish me luck. Okay, I'm starting to empty some of the drawers, trying to get them cleaned up and organized. So I'm going to wash them up. They're pretty dirty. So I'll put you on time lapse, and I'll try to get something done with this cabinet here. Pretty clean. Now if I can just figure out what I'm putting in there. All right, cabinet 1 is pretty much established. All right, we got drill bits. All right, we got air tools. And air tools there. Screw extractors, some metal stuff. I can fill that up. All right, this is air tool accessories. I got my extra fittings in here. All right, some metal clamps and clamps for the drill press. And again, my tap and die. Well, that's a start on the first cabinet. In the meantime, getting some shocks rebuilt coming up real soon for my RC51. It's my 1 liter V-twin super bike, so we'll get those done. It'll be nice to have that back on the road again. All right, let's continue on. Grease, ropes, wire, woodworking material, clamps, pullers, assorted cement working tools and painting tools, sanding material, gasket making material, assorted hoses. Air hose reel. I charged it up, but guess what? I got a crack in the line here. I gotta change that out. I'm gonna lower this arm down. Good. Okay, there's 4 bolts and nuts up here holding it onto the top of the cabinet. And I think they're 9/16. Not too bad. Alright, I hope this doesn't go bang boom too bad. Keep a hold of it. Okay, this is what I've got in this space here. I've got a welding outlet right there. And I was thinking of putting all of these 3 big cabinets together, but I realized that I shouldn't, because then I wouldn't have access to that outlet. This hose reel, this is the factory hose. I gotta take this hose off, take a look and see if this is a separate one or if it's all tied in with the primary one. Okay. Okay, got that unraveled. Okay. I just got to figure out what to do with this end here. I don't have the ability to crimp it on there. I have to bring it into a shop or something. Oh, I got this 3/8 fitting here. It's already got the thread locker on there. Let's see. Put this thing in there. Let's get a hose clamp on there. I'm going to hook up an air line before I wrap it up, see if it's leaking there at all. Oh, it's got a tear up here. Okay. Let me mark that. Put a hole in here. All right, we'll put this over again. Let's put some air on it. Good. All right, we'll secure that now. Okay, hold your ears. Oh, stay on there now. Now I gotta position this arm. All right, I'll put these 4 smaller carriage bolts in and I'll come back after that. Okay. There we are, back in action. Coupler's on. Adjustable arm is in the right spot so I can pull that hose right out. Now we'll just double check to make sure that those fittings aren't leaking. All right, I turned the air compressor on. Lines are full. And listen to that. Yep, I don't hear it either. Excellent. I got the cabinet pulled away. This MDF is 13 inches away from the wall. Why did I choose that? I don't know, it just seemed like a good number. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take a 4x4 sheet of plywood and I'll put it on there and I'll see how they overlap over the edges with that and see how much I cut off or how much I move the cabinets around. So let's do that test fit right now. I think the edge of the cabinet is about as far as maybe I can get by with an inch or two overlap. Okay, I got my tops of the cabinets cut. All right, I'm gonna start putting these plywood pieces down. No turning back. There it is, it's set. I went and put this 20-ton air jack on my central machinery press here. I didn't videotape it, basically just swapping out the manual one for this one. The hardest work was augering out this spot here, and basically take a carbide bit and cut that away so that that bolt can get in there. So, and the hardest part was just running some air lines. So here, let me turn this thing around. This came with the hydraulic bottle jack. Got about a 3-foot line here. I hooked up a 90-degree shut-off valve. Now it's on, it's in line, it's on. Used some brass couplings and ran a line along the ceiling and behind the desk there and put a T on the fitting going to the air hose. So let's turn this thing on, show you what we got here. Air's on. A little nicer than manually pumping it here, so you can still do the manual on this. Just take the pressure off like that, and done. All right, on to the next. All right, next on the list, I put this thing together. Had it sitting around for a while, and it's gonna hold a belt sander for me, hopefully, but I'll put it together first and see how it comes out. Okay, this is what's going to go on top of the stand. I sure hope that it fits. This base appears to be a little bit longer, so I'm hoping it works on this. If not, this will go on a bench top here. That's why I built the bench. So let me get this set up and see if we can get it put on here. Okay, here's how I want it to sit when it's done, but I'm just mocking it up right now. And I don't think any of those holes are gonna fit. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna crawl underneath, and I've got the green part, the base of the sander, where I want it to be on the stand. And this stand is like the perfect height, I think. Well, time will tell. But anyway, I'm gonna go underneath and I'm gonna mark the spots on this green base, and then I'll take it off, flip it over, and I'll drill out some holes, and I'll put some bolts in there, and we'll get it set down there. All right, let's mark these holes. This one here I can't get to because of the electrical box here. I'm gonna go with 3 for now. That's how it works, just to get this project in position. Then we'll do some testing. That hole was there from a previous vise that I had on the MVF, so I just used that one to get started. I hope I drilled that hole in the spot where this arm will. It's tight. Bummer. Well, made a mistake. Let's see if I'm a little farther. Got my vise put in, and I got it close enough so I can actually use it, so feels good. I always had a problem knowing where to put these big crowbars. They've always been on the ground where the air reel is at that you've seen. But came up with an idea. Crowbars, manual pump. Probably never will ever use that, but at least it's in a spot where I can show it. And next to the sign here, I put in some tire irons there. Again, I'll probably never use those, but they're there. And decent decoration. Just making room. Okay, it's time to go through my metric cart. Get this organized. Sockets. And I think I'm going to move my sockets up here. So I think that's going to be the first thing. So let me get this cleared out. I'll move my sockets and get them organized. metric box pretty much squared away. I took out some stuff that was sitting on top inside of it that was just collecting from projects, and didn't need that. So I challenged myself to put the stuff up here so this would stay clean. And I might be missing a couple of sockets, but some of these socket kits that you get, they're incomplete. So as I find them, I'll put them in there, or as I purchase them, I'll put them in there. So these areas here on these general boxes are, to me, kind of a waste of time. They got the holes in there, and the screwdrivers that you put in there just going to wobble around. So I put some liner in it. Had some leftover stuff. You see that black part right there, and I put that liner all the way across there, and I threw all my extensions in there. I put a liner in here just in case I wanted to change things around, but I ended up putting hammers in here. So that's set to go. All right, straightened out the screwdriver box. All right, the Phillips are facing up and the standards are facing down, and then some accessory hand tools there. That looks a little bit better. Got my pliers, crescent, wrenches, adjustables, scissors, needle nose. All right, Allen wrench and star bits. Not sure what you exactly call them, but yeah, T40s, T30s, that kind of stuff. And some wrenches. I don't think I had a 17 in this ratchet one, but I left the space available there in case I find it. Milling around the garage here as I'm cleaning it up. So yeah, that's the wrenches. And look at this. Now I've got space to put this torque wrench. The other one gave up the ghost. It was a Craftsman, and maybe I'm supposed to turn it in or whatever, but we'll see. And I can fill that up more with some other stuff. Bottom bin is open. Not sure what I'm gonna put in there. And I got some place for cans and things like that. So gloves, paper towels. So that's the spot. That's the metric side of things, and I'll put the standard over there. Okay, now I'm going to clean up a toolbox that was on the back of my rollback Chevy, my 68 Chev, and it was left outdoors, and of course it rained on it, and I didn't cover it up very well, so the tools in there kind of got rusted. The toolbox bottom rusted out, and I'm gonna have to probably replace that. I don't know if it's worth fixing it or not, but I gotta clean up the tools anyway, so that's what I'm doing next. All the tools that were in that toolbox from the 68 Chevy rollback, and I got them soaking in some PB Blaster, and I am going to find a different toolbox for it. I painted it black because I had the paint and it was old. I wanted to get rid of it. But of course it doesn't make looking for parts real easy. So that's much better. Do that. I saw my father-in-law had that, and he always knew where his stuff was at, so took a lesson from him on that. I've been looking for a place to put this. I think I found a spot. I've had this sitting around for a while. It's going to be a cutoff saw, and I can use the bench. I got long pieces of angle iron, so. Okay, what I was doing there was adjusting the blade so it comes down in the center of this space here. So there's a trough right here. This blade has to be centered from here to here, so it's not cutting crooked at all. So the adjustment is made here and up on top, and just eyeballing that, getting that lined up there. Okay, now I'm going to work on the trigger switch. Here's the trigger mechanism on this Hercules stand. I think it's Right now I'm gonna say it's kind of clumsy, but let's check it out here. So, okay, I've got it plugged in. Here's the saw blade right here. Nothing in the way. Nothing's contacting or hitting, so I'm safe to operate it that way. So it should fire up just as it is. Let's see if it does. Let's see, I gotta depress this down. It's not staying running. I'll do an adjustment on it. Let's see. I did an adjustment right here. Tighten that up, and it's a touchy lever there. Works for me. If I'm gonna leave it unattended, I'll just make sure it does. There's no way that it could go there, so maybe that's the way they designed it. I have a vertical one, and I hooked up a foot switch. So just a Velcro band around here. Got an adapter. So here's the switch right here. So that runs, this wire runs, the cord runs down to the switch. This is right from the chop saw itself. So all I have to do is just push that out. So I like that too. So that's a momentary switch, and this will just be an off-on switch when it's more convenient for me to cut it longer pieces here. So best of both worlds. All right, I'm going to show you the toolbox that I picked up, and I had all those tools spewed out here. So I picked this toolbox up, Menards, $11.99. I got my ratchet wrenches underneath there, and got some assorted fluids there. Yeah, screwdrivers and crescent wrenches and locking pliers, magic markers, tape measures, hammer, and channel locks. So that will go good in my rollback truck for some emergency stuff there. You don't see any sockets in there because my sockets are right here, so I'll just throw those in the bin then when I need to go on the road there and haul stuff around. I like to have some tools with me, so I picked up that's a 1/2 inch, and that's a 3/8 and quarter, all matching, nothing missing. So that's a full socket sets there. So yeah, it is 15 inches wide by about 7 inches deep, and I don't know, 8 inches high, something like that. So neat little box there, and they were on sale. I picked up another one too, so of course I had to put my first sticker on there. All right, here's my plasma cutter. I gotta clean this thing up. I'll start with the bottom. I'll remove the plasma cutter, clean the top, and get that put back into position. And that's my plasma machine. It's been a good torch. Had it for at least a dozen years. It's in really good shape. I'm not commercial, but commercial grade, that's for sure. All right, back at it. It's been a good exercise for me working on this garage. But I've got some workstations set up. I got the aisles cleaned up. I've got some work areas opened up so that I can get things done. So it's time to get onto those projects. But let me show you around. Here we go. And I can't forget to show you, those ladders were kind of a dilemma. There they are. Nice to have those up on the wall. There's some projects, there's some projects. And there's some projects. That's gonna be a big one. But anyway, I got things cleaned up, cleared up. Got my makeshift room here. Got that here, covering up another project. Little workstation here. My US General box, here's my metric side. Got all my sockets up here. And again, the reason I did that, as I explained earlier, is when I didn't have my sockets in here, this was becoming a catch-all. I was throwing stuff in here all the time. And it just got to be a mess. So if I keep it sockets, I'm not gonna be tempted to do that. And both of these US General boxes are set up the same. I put my plasma cutter here just to make sure it's out of the way. I don't use it a whole lot, but there it is. There's my to-do board. Look at that, nothing on it. It's gonna fill up in a hurry here. I got an old RCA repair desk here. My dad was a TV repairman before he became an electrician. So it's a nice little cart for rolling around. You can put it anywhere. And I think that's a good thing to have. All right, here's the bench top I made. And got some stations here. Grinder, got my drill press, got a wheel balancer for motorcycles. Got my bandsaw horizontal, you saw me put that together. I put some hand wrenches here just for quick access when I'm working here. And I also have some other tools right in here. And this will also double as a travel box for my truck. Turn this into a marker drawer station there. This is some noise attenuation stuff. That's empty. But when I ride motorcycle, I put some earplugs in. This is my snowmobile, some snowmobile stuff. Didn't know where to put that, so that's what I'm using that for. Here's some welding supply stuff. And that'll build. Battery charger, good old fan. You saw me put this together. You saw me set this up. And here's my workbench, welding bench here. Been working at stuff. Gotta put some more tools away. I was doing some cutting there. Of course, the big brake. Nice to have that. Sure is nice. And got my shop press here. Here I've got some body fender mechanical tools here, some paint, body fender tools. There's my oils, and this turned into waxing, clay bar stuff, polishing, washing stuff here. There's polishing and some supplies there, some gloves and plastic bags. Down below, some tarp, thin plastic tarps I'm going to use for when I spray paint. I can hang that from the ceiling. Getting my RC51, we put some tires on and we got that project done. And yeah, what else did we do on that? I got a new battery in there, had the forks rebuilt, and let's see, there was fuel pressure regulator. It wasn't idling right, that got ironed out. We can get a good couple inches of rain to clean up the roads and get the salt off and the gravel from the corners. That'd be fantastic. So anyway, that'll be fun to run around on that. Here's a couple projects I got going on here. I got to put this shelf together, and what that'll do is that'll be a shelf for motor parts. Coming up down the line real soon, I'm going to be doing a motor swap into a 1988 Honda CRX, and I affectionately call it the shoe. So I'll be getting that car in here, and I'll put the motor in here, and I got a B16 dual overhead cam VTEC motor. It's got 50,000 miles or under, directly from Japan. Computer and transaxles, everything is included. So anyway, I just thought I'd show you around the completion of what I got done on the cleanup thus far. And I will be figuring out the tools and if they are in the right spot for me. Goes by, like these drawers here, I'll know if the stuff that I have in those drawers are the right location for them. So it'll be a work in progress over the next months, who knows, years. Things will change. Some things work out better than others in certain locations. So, but at least I got a good start. I got a good cleanup on it, which was needed, and makes me feel more motivated to get going on with some of these mechanical projects. Appreciate you guys hanging out and watching the whole thing. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. That'd be great for the channel. And hit the notification bell and throw a like down there if you like this kind of stuff. And I'll have some more stuff coming along. I got that 55 Chevy up there. I got to change the rear main seal. It's not leaking too bad. I'll be able to drive it, but I'm going to have to get after that. And I got to pick and choose my battles on when I start that. But I think I should get that CRX ready to rock and roll here too. And that's been in the wings there, so I'll show you that in the future. So with that, well, I'll bring this video to a close. This is Rob from Dr.M Studio. Until next time.